Financial Survival Network, helping you to survive and thrive in the new economy. Get our complimentary newsletter at financialsurvivalnetwork.com. This is the Financial Survival Network.
These are tough times, and they're getting even tougher. The clock is ticking. The countdown to collapse is well underway. What are you going to do about it? Will you just wait for it to happen, or will you be ready when it happens? The decision is yours, and yours alone. Join myself, Mickey Fulp, Robert Ian, David Morgan, Jeff Berwick, Elijah Johnson, Alan Butler, Gregory Manarino, Daniel Amaduri, Andy Hoffman, Tekoa Da Silva, Trace Mayer, one of the world's leading Bitcoin authorities, Bix Weir, Jay Taylor, and Gary Christensen at the Liberty Mastermind Symposium in Las Vegas on February 21st and 22nd, and learn how to create your plan to survive the collapse. The last Liberty Mastermind Symposium was one of the most highly rated conferences ever, and this one promises to be even better. Don't miss it. Join us and register now at libertymastermind.us. libertymastermind.us. This one is going to be out of this world, and it's going to be even better because it's in Las Vegas, Nevada. Go to Liberty Mastermind US and sign up today. You are listening to the FinancialSurvivalNetwork.com. I'm Kerry Lutz on 1230 WBZT. Well, you're probably familiar with Wayne Allen Root, author of The Ultimate Obama Survival Guide and a multi-year target of the IRS. Wayne, welcome back.
Hey, Kerry, how are you?
Hey, great. So what's going on here? Your latest meme, too big to jail. I've heard that with regard to certain banksters on Wall Street, but now you're talking about the big guy.
Well, listen, I'm a private sector guy. I'm a guy who, sells things on TV, sells things on the radio, sells things in speeches all over the world. And I've been the CEO of a public company. And I know that if a private sector CEO or a publicly traded CEO made a statement that was a knowing lie, that's called fraud, and he'd go to jail. And somehow this nation has totally missed the point that Barack Obama, we know politicians lie, but never in history has a lie cost $1 trillion. And in the end, that's going to be what this man has done, is cost $1 trillion or more to American consumers when they lose their health insurance. And the new policy is twice as expensive, 3 times expensive, 4 times expensive. Why? Because the Marxist in chief decided he doesn't like your policy because you're a 50-year-old man and you didn't want to get birth control and you didn't want to get Viagra and you didn't want to get pregnancy features in it. You didn't want to get women's birth control when you're a 50-year-old man. And if you're a woman, you didn't want to get Viagra because you're a woman. And everybody out there who's got a great deal with their health insurance and is happy with it is going to lose it because this evil, egomaniacal man thinks he knows better than you. But I got him because he's a criminal. He committed fraud. And every person in America that lost their insurance is a witness at the trial. Every single person who has stage 4 terminal cancer that lost their doctor and their hospital and their network and their insurance is a witness at the trial. And there are going to be people, Kerry, who commit suicide because they're sick and they lost their insurance. There are going to be people who die because they're sick and they didn't get coverage in time and they lost their chemo or their drugs that they need to stay alive. And that's murder. So you're talking about a president who's certainly guilty of fraud. I think possibly much more.
Well, you know what, Wayne? I even heard that they were mandating extended warranty on marital aids and sex toys as part of this ObamaCare Act.
Listen, the thing that's unimaginable is not only did he put together something that's a total fraud, not only did he lie to the American people, when we all know now the internal White House document showed that the government knew and Obama knew and his White House aides knew and his close advisors knew that everyone was going to lose their health insurance and 80% of all small businesses were going to lose their health insurance while he went out and committed fraud and said, if you like your insurance, you can keep it, because he knew there was no way to sell it by telling people you're all going to get screwed. So he committed fraud. But on top of that, now it just kind of sneaked it by. I don't think anyone understands the implications of the very quick announcement one day about 3 weeks ago that all the insurance policies will now include mental illness and drug and alcohol rehab. Do you have any idea what the cost is of those?
Oh, forget it.
You have just bankrupted America, folks. There's no money for mental illness in health insurance. There's no money for rehab and health insurance. Rich people, when you're a coke addict and you have a rich daddy writes a $30,000 or a $50,000 check to rehab. You just said America's got to pay that bill for all the rich coke addicts in America? Are you joking? That's what Obama said, but no one seems to have noticed, Kerry, because it's been Thanksgiving and it's been Christmas and people are busy and people are stressed out and people are scared and there's bigger issues. They're worried about losing their insurance. Nobody noticed. For the first time in the history of America, we've included those two categories in insurance, and it's unaffordable completely. Bankruptcy.
Yeah, as if it wasn't unaffordable enough already, we got to throw in those two benefits, and it's nuts. It's just through the looking glass. And I knew this thing was going to collapse already, but we're just getting that much closer to it, aren't we?
Well, I think it's all but, fait accompli, as they say. I mean, I think America is headed for an economic collapse. I'm about to write my 2014 predictions for several financial newsletters that have gigantic mailing lists of millions of very wealthy people who like to hear what I have to say. And I'm about to write them. I was going to sit down and write it over the next few days, probably, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And let me let you in on some of the things I was planning to write. I think the stock market is going to crash. Badly, badly overvalued. Ridiculous. The more bad news comes out about the economy, the more the market goes up because they expect the Fed will have to keep the quantitative easing. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. Bad news should equal market goes down. Good news, market goes up. But somehow Obama's manipulated things so that the stock market is one big giant craps game now, and no matter what the news is, the market goes up. Because the worse it is, the more the Fed will pump money into the stock market and make it go up. And so we've got a basically an illusionary market. It's just a fraud, a Ponzi scheme. So I think the market's headed for a crash. I think the United States of America is headed for an economic crash. I believe right after the first of the year, you'll hear terrible things about Europe. I think the EU is dead, and people don't know it. They think the crisis has passed. I think it's worse than ever, and they've just papered it over, and that's going to help bring down the United States. I think Japan will implode in the year 2014, and I think that the one thing that's down heavily, gold, is going to be the savior for anybody out there with a brain, and gold is going to do nothing but go up and explode upward in the year 2014 in response to all the crisis and economic collapse. So once again, I'm the contrarian, but put me on record with all of those predictions, and I'll back them up because my predictions are usually right on the money.
Okay, well, we're seeing it over and over and over again throughout history. Gold always is the savior for those who have it. Happened in Rome, happened in Greece, happened in Weimar, Germany, happened in Zimbabwe. It's going to happen here, no doubt. And you see the Chinese and the Russians are stocking up on it. They can't buy enough of this stuff.
They can't buy enough of gold. Yeah, well,
gold and silver.
Isn't that ironic that Americans don't want the gold and silver and China wants the gold and silver? Doesn't that tell you something? China's going up in the world and America's going in major decline and down in the world. And the people of China are making the right decisions and Americans are making all the wrong decisions. Kind of ironic that at this moment in time where our industry is disappearing and our manufacturing is disappearing and Obama's killing all capitalism, people aren't even thinking clearly and they're not buying gold, whereas in China, where business is up and the economy is doing gangbusters, places like Hong Kong and Macau and Singapore, the whole Asian continent doing well, they're thinking clearly and they're buying gold with both fists. So should you and I.
Yeah, absolutely. That was one of the things that you put in your book, too, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, it was, and I stick to it. As a matter of fact, I interviewed 18 of the richest men in the world in my book. My book's called The Ultimate Obama Survival Guide, and I have to give you one plug here. It really is a great Christmas present. It wasn't available last Christmas. Now you can buy it for the father or brother or son or mother or uncle in your life that's a huge conservative and hates Obama, or a huge capitalist and hates Obama. This is the book, The Ultimate Obama Survival Guide, that they'll be thrilled on Christmas morning that they got from you. And, I interviewed 18 of the richest guys in America, and they all said if gold goes down, consider it a gift. That means you're buying something very great and very valuable on sale. The whole key to life is to buy low and sell high. Gold is low and on sale. It's the time to buy it now. This will be the lowest you will see, give or take a few dollars an ounce. This should be the lowest you'll see for the next 20 years.
Yeah, no doubt. I wholeheartedly agree with you on that because, look, it just makes total sense. And the mining industry is imploding. Can't forget that. The mining industry in bad shape as a result of these low prices, and you're getting to buy gold and silver below the cost of production right now, Wayne, which doesn't happen very often throughout history. Right now, the cost of production of gold is somewhere around $1,500 the ounce. You're getting to buy it around $1,230 the ounce, and it just those opportunities very rare indeed. So, what do you think is going to happen with the health sector? Is it just going to collapse and it'll become cash only, where they're just not going to take insurance? I mean, is that what's going to happen? And I mean, where do you see it? It looks like it's devolving into chaos, doesn't it?
Well, it's going to devolve into chaos for a very simple reason. Number one, government's running it, and the same government runs the post office, and with no competition allowed by law, it lost $16 billion last year. So what do you think is going to happen in the medical system? Number two, the same government that runs the ObamaCare website is going to be running your medicine. Do you have any idea what incompetent boobs you're dealing with? They're morons and they're thieves. They spent hundreds of millions, somewhere around $500, $600 million, to build a website that's defective, and they wasted your tax money. Now it's going to cost over $1 billion to fix it. This is insanity, but at worst, I think they really are thieves, Kerry, because I don't believe they're that dumb. I mean, they are incompetent. Government's always been incompetent. People in government are always the type of people who couldn't get a job in the private sector, but they're not that incompetent that they could waste $500 million or more to build a lousy website that doesn't work. That money's in a Swiss bank account somewhere. This government is evil. This government is stealing your money. No question about that. So this healthcare system is bound to implode. And, it works fairly badly in Canada, but at least it works, nationalized healthcare. But they've got 30 million citizens. We've got well over 300 million, I think over 315 million now. So it's impossible to think that this system could work with that many people and no new doctors. And you're adding 30 million uninsured people to the system. That's the size of Canada all by itself. It's like we woke up one day and made Canada the 51st state and said all 30 million residents are now going to get America's health benefits out of the blue with no new doctors. That's what we just did. So, all of this is just impossible. And as a bonus, we actually killed the economy too, because it's 15% of the American economy, and it's $1 trillion or more in new taxes. And that's, to put it in perspective, Kerry, all the income tax in the entire United States of America from individuals is about $1 trillion a year. Mm-hmm. So we just took all the money paid in taxes by every single human being in America, and we took that amount and we made that new taxes. I mean, if that doesn't destroy the economy, I don't know what will.
Yeah, you just can't keep death by 1,000 cuts, cutting it and cutting it and cutting it, and expect it to keep going ahead like nothing happened.
It isn't keeping going. It isn't. That's the point. In other words, when you hear good news in the media, it's almost always fraud, manipulated figures. You heard the November jobs numbers, that they were had a fabulous month in November, up 200,000 jobs. Let me explain to you all the fraud in those numbers. First of all, heading into the 2012 presidential election, we now find out the Census Bureau and the Labor Department manipulated the numbers and just made them up out of thin air. Mm-hmm. They were telling us there were like 500,000 new jobs. There weren't any new jobs. They just made it up. It was government employees who wanted to see Obama reelected. Pure fraud. A whistleblower has come forward now. Pure fraud out of the Philadelphia office of the Census Bureau created those fake numbers. So what makes you think November's number isn't fake? Obama's in desperate trouble. The economy's going under. Everybody knows it in the real world when they look around. But he keeps you believing it's going to be okay by just lying to you and telling you there's 200,000 new jobs that there aren't. So I believe total fabrication, number one, is the first suspect of the November jobs report. Number two is in that report, they claim 41% of the jobs are government jobs.
Yep.
So right off the bat, almost half are government jobs. Normally, I'd say that's terrible. Government employees make too much money. Their pensions are too big. You don't want government jobs. So that's bad. But in this case, pure fraud, Kerry. You know why there were 41% government jobs? When we had the government shutdown in October, a lot of government employees were put out of work. They were furloughed. When they came back to the jobs they already had in November, they counted those as new jobs. That's
Right.
where that number comes from, by the way. They aren't even new government employees. They're the same ones being recycled in the same jobs. They're counting them as brand new jobs.
Double counting them, right?
You see the fraud that goes on in this country?
Yeah. Hope and change, baby.
Jobs. Total fraud.
Yep. And we're going to talk more about that up next on the financialsurvivalnetwork.com, 1230 WBZT. Hi, it's Kerry Lutz. I recently decided to move my retirement account into physical precious metals to hedge against the coming times. If you want to move an existing retirement account into physical precious metals that you can hold in your hand, tax-free, there's no company that can do it more quickly and efficiently than Regal Assets. It took them just 24 hours to open my new IRA account, and all I had to do was fill out one simple form. The best part is that Regal Assets does all the work for you. They cover the setup and administrative costs for 2013. If you're interested in making the same move I did, call 855-678-6620, 855-678-6620. That's 855-678-6620, or visit them at regalassets.com. You'll be glad you did, and tell them Kerry sent you. Hey, we're back with Wayne Allyn Root. And Wayne, you know, we're having the Liberty Mastermind Symposium in your hometown on February 21st, 22nd. Hopefully you'll be able to stop by. And we're talking about these very issues because freedom is really what's at risk from all of this. When you talk about economic collapse, when everybody's out of work, all they care about is their security. And Jefferson said, I believe it was Jefferson, people who give up liberty for security wind up with neither. And that's what we're really heading for, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean, we've certainly given up the economy, and we've certainly given up freedom with the NSA. We've certainly given up economic freedom with the IRS. How many three-letter organizations can I quote? They're all pretty bad. A lot of bad things happening in this country that start with three letters. You know, NSA, IRS, Homeland Security, Homeland Security, HLS, I guess they call it. I don't know, whatever they call Homeland Security. All these three-letter corporations, divisions of government, are just infringing on our rights. We've given up our freedoms. And, of course, a federal judge, you don't have to listen to me, a federal judge ruled my way just 2 days
finally.
48 hours ago. Finally, one federal judge ruled that the NSA listening to every single phone call is against the Constitution, which, of course, it is. You know, you need a warrant, and you can only listen to people that are supposedly, theoretically, allegedly might be committing crimes. Not every one of us, but you know what it's all about. You know, I think what's happening, this is my educated guess, is every phone call in America is recorded, and when the government says don't worry about it, we're not actually listening, we're just recording them, I believe them. They're actually, for once, Kerry, telling the truth. You can't listen to billions of phone calls a day.
5 billion.
So they're just recorded. But they've got them when they need them. So when they decide they hate a critic of the president like me, Wayne Root, they go back in the file and they go back and listen to all your phone calls, and they try and find a reason to put you in prison to silence you. That's what's going on. We basically have a communist dictator running the United States of America, no different than Fidel Castro or Hugo Chavez, and his goal in life is to be a Chicago thug who imprisons and silences and intimidates his opposition and ends all free speech in this country. And that's what the NSA is all about. So Benjamin Franklin could have never imagined this one. He was imagining someone kicking in your door without a warrant, and that would be one person in the whole country today. He didn't realize there'd be a time in the future where the government could listen to all 1 billion households and calls in the country, you know, each year and each day and each week and each month, all of you under surveillance, every call, every correspondence, every email, every text under surveillance. He could have never imagined that. That's what's happening. Then they go back and selectively grab the ones they want to try and take control of the country and the government and put businesses out of business and silence critics.
Yeah, and that sure seems to be the plan, doesn't it?
Well, listen, the IRS is everywhere, and they're going after every small businessman and woman, and they're going after everybody with money because the country's totally broke. So they're desperate. And we know they're going after critics of the president because I'm a witness. They've gone after me twice. Once after I beat them, they literally announced an audit 5 days later after I beat them in tax court, which my tax attorney said is just unheard of in the history of America. That could only happen if you're on the president's enemies list. And so obviously I was on the president's enemies list. But guess what, folks? I beat him again. Because when you don't do anything wrong, it's kind of hard for somebody to get you in trouble. So they're just looking, trying to find wrongdoing and crimes and underreporting and, anything they could find that would get you in trouble, that would distract you, or me in this case, from being a critic of the president. But, if they can't find it, then you've done nothing wrong. Then you're in the clear. So in the meantime, to prove you're honest and you've never done anything wrong, you spend $100,000 in legal fees. That's money that could have gone in donations to Republican candidates. And they know that. So they're looking to bankrupt the political opposition while they search for dirt. And if they find it, they ruin you. And if they don't find it, at least they got you to waste $100,000 and not sleep for 6 months. And so you're distracted and you can't be the perfect opponent of the president.
Yeah, it all comes down to that intimidation. And they might shut you up in the process. Not you, but others.
They never shut me up. I talked 4 times more, and I exposed them in the media, and they got scared of that. They can't stand. They're like cockroaches, the Obama administration. Turn on the light, and they scurry away. And so when I started talking about being investigated by the IRS twice, once 5 days after I won the first one, suddenly they quickly closed my case.
Is that right?
Because they were scared. Oh, yeah. It was right at the time that the scandal came out. So they needed to clear the books of my case because they know Obama's fingerprints straight from the White House are all over it. And I got bad news for them. Judicial Watch is the #1 organization in Washington to go after government corruption. And they agree with me, and they've taken my case. And they're demanding the IRS release all files related to my case. And they believe they're going to find fingerprints direct to the White House. Now, of course, the government may burn those files, but then they've committed crimes, and then people are going to go to prison. So next subpoenas will be coming.
Interesting. Well, that's going to be fascinating to see if they've covered their tracks and where it all came from, at whose behest you were investigated. But, hey, I guess you got to keep up the fight. It's you gone too far to turn back now, right?
Correct. We'll keep the pressure up, and we'll keep the pressure on them, and I'll keep writing about it. I got millions of followers now on all the top conservative websites in the world, and we'll just keep screaming this from the loudest mountains in the media that this man's a criminal, and he's not too big to jail, and it's time to start indictment to the president and purple walking this guy out of the White House.
Yeah, and it's so nice. They just announced that his hand-picked committee on surveillance came up with 46 recommendations for overhauling U.S. intelligence operations. So I don't know about you, Wayne, but I feel much better now, don't you?
Yeah, I'm sure. Whatever Obama announces as the cure is automatically making it worse. We know that. My dad was a blue-collar butcher, Kerry, and he had such great common sense. God rest his soul. He died a while back, but he had such great common sense. His name was David Root. He's one of the original founders of the New York State Conservative Party. And my dad knew that government was bad, and he always said to me, always don't listen to what they say, always watch what they do. Because what they say is the opposite of what they do. And if you watch Obama, that's the key to Obama. Whatever he says, he's doing the opposite. If he says, I'm saving the middle class, he's trying to destroy, extinguish the middle class. And when he says, I'm really lowering your taxes, everyone's going to get a tax cut, that means we're all getting a giant tax raise. When he says you get to keep your insurance, you're not keeping your insurance. When he says the website works, it's not working.
Yeah.
Everything he says is the exact opposite. Oh, let's not forget. At all times, he's telling you spending is down under him. Even though, here's the thing, it's mind-boggling, Kerry. Spending is down, and he's the cheapest president ever, according to Obama. He doesn't spend anything. But somehow the debt was up $4 trillion in 8 years under Bush, and it was up over $6 trillion in 4 years under Obama. Now it's $7 trillion. So the debt went up $7 trillion, but spending somehow in his mind went down. Can you explain that to me?
Yeah, explain that one to me, Lucy.
Biggest liar that ever lived in the whole world, in the history of this world. No bigger liar has ever lived than Barack Hussein Obama. And the most important lie is that he's not here to destroy us. He's not here to ruin America. He loves Judeo-Christian values. He loves capitalism. He loves oil companies. Listen to him talk. These are all the things he says. He's a fan of big oil. Everything he says is the exact opposite of the truth.
Amazing. Well, I'm glad you're calling him out on it, because somebody's got to do it, because, it's just Alice in Wonderland. Words are what I mean them to be, nothing more and nothing less, right?
Yeah, well, what you get from me is the truth, the raw truth. That's my Christmas present to America, is the raw truth, too big to jail. Is the president too big to jail? And that's my latest commentary at Fox News, which is the most popular commentary of the week at Fox News, I believe. Or if it's not already, it will be soon based on the numbers I've seen. It'll be the most popular commentary of the week. And, of course, I wrote one of the most popular commentaries of the year. I think it is the most popular commentary of the year. It's called ObamaCare is a Fantastic Success. And that was at Fox News, and that has about 1 million people have read it. And it basically says Obamacare was never intended to heal the sick or give people health insurance. It's nothing more than a Marxist redistribution scheme. That's all it ever was intended to be, and that's exactly what it is. Your insurance goes up, you give the money to government or to big insurance companies who then kick back the money to government and Obama in campaign contributions, and your taxes go up, and poor people get all that money redistributed to them so that they continue to depend on government and vote for Obama. That's it. That's Obamacare in a nutshell.
Yeah, I just don't think it was intended to fail out of the gate the way it did.
Well, listen, no question the website wasn't supposed to fail. Listen, the website was supposed to work. I understand that. But there is some horrible incompetence, and there are a bunch of boobs. But believe me, the thing itself, Obamacare, was meant to destroy America and make America fail.
For sure. Agreed there. No question about it. We're of one mind on that, Wayne. You're absolutely on the money there. And on that note, your website, where we find you, where we get that wonderful book?
Yeah, the website is root4america.com. That's ROOT for America.com. And the book is The Ultimate Obama Survival Guide. But, of course, the place to get it, you can read about it at rootforamerica.com. But you should go to Amazon.com. That's where you buy everything nowadays anyway. We should let Amazon run healthcare. Actually, we should just farm out the whole U.S. government to Amazon. FedEx and Amazon could run America much better than Barack Obama. I know that. But Amazon.com is where you find The Ultimate Obama Survival Guide, an ideal Christmas present for the conservative in your life.
Well, he said that buying health insurance on healthcare.gov would be just like buying something on Amazon.com. So I don't know what happened. I don't get it.
Amazon.com works. That's number one. And number two, Amazon.com doesn't take your personal information and give it to criminals, which the Obamacare navigators have criminal records. Did you know that?
Yeah, I
know. They can
know.
steal your private information. And the last thing is, Amazon.com doesn't take your information and extort you. Did you know that every person that enters their information is trapped in the system, and the government now knows that you are looking for health insurance, and now they hand it over to the IRS, and now they know they can come after you and fine you. They won't know who you are unless you enter your name into the system. And ironically, the system was built, Kerry, so it won't give you any information without first getting your name and your address
I'm
and
aware
your
of
social
that.
security number. So, the only difference between Amazon and Obama is it works and it's not criminal. That's the difference. Obama doesn't work, and it's a criminal scheme.
Exactly. You're on the money. And financialsurvivalnetwork.com, libertymastermind.us, February 21st, 22nd in Vegas, Wayne's current hometown. We'll talk to you again real soon, Wayne. Be well. Good luck on the book, and happy holidays and Happy New Year. We'll talk to you soon.
Let me say the politically correct thing. Merry Christmas. Yeah. Happy holidays.
Yeah.
And
Merry Christmas.
The Ultimate Obama Survival Guide. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Take care. What happens if the collapse never really comes? You need income, and Jason Hartman can help you get it. He's helped thousands of people realize their dreams of financial independence through real estate investing, and now he's got an unbeatable offer for you. He's offering my ebook, Forget Wall Street, Go for the Gold and Silver Too, for free. Just visit jasonhartman.com/Lutz. The first 100 Financial Survival Network listeners will get the book free. Remember, you can't afford to put all your eggs in one basket. Real estate should be part of a balanced investment portfolio along with gold and silver. Just go to jasonhartman.com/Lutz and sign up today. When it comes to real estate investing, Jason Hartman is the only person we trust on the Financial Survival Network. So make your money work as hard as you do by building an income property empire. Real estate is America's proven investment. Go to www.jasonhartman.com/Lutz and get your free ebook today. That's Jason, HARTMAN.com/Lutz. That's Jason, HARTMAN.com/Lutz. Jason knows how to help you retire with a portfolio of income-producing property. Go to jasonhartman.com/Lutz.
The Financial Survival Network, helping you to survive and thrive in the new economy. Get our complimentary newsletter at financialsurvivalnetwork.com. This is the Financial Survival Network.